Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about some things you absolutely must know before you source or sell another vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online. So I know this is the hot topic right now, one of the best new ways to make money importing and exporting or sourcing and selling vehicles. However, there's a lot of things you guys need to know, some recent things that I've stumbled upon. In previous videos, I've given you tips and tricks, things to look out for, some kind of, tricks of the trade in which you can kind of beat the system a little bit. Today, I'm just going to be talking about some things you need to know about, or really some warnings and some huge issues that are happening right now. So, number one, Rockstar's system is super broken when sourcing cars. So what I'm going to do is show you guys a GIF, or I guess a video, of what happens when players leave the lobby, and you are the one that's actually punished. Now, I featured a GIF very similar to this a couple of videos ago, and I couldn't understand why this happened. The car just spontaneously combusted. It went from, about 1,000 damage to 12,000 damage in a matter of a second, and the vehicle caught on fire too. And if this guy wasn't, a couple feet from his warehouse, the vehicle would have blown up, and all his work would have been for absolutely nothing. So this is what Rockstar does when your lobby drops. Your vehicle takes massive damage, it is automatically lit on fire, and if you're not, like I said, feet away from your warehouse, the car is going to blow up and you're going to waste all of your time, effort, and energy. So you can see within this clip right there, everyone leaves, the car spontaneously combusts, and this is a super unfair system. Now, apparently, this happens to prevent you from using duplication glitches, which is enabled by lagging yourself out of a session while driving an import and export vehicle. But I still think that is super unfortunate because of the stability of Rockstar servers. As you can see, well, the clip I showed you guys, he wasn't doing a duplication glitch. This poor guy was just trying to do some of the missions, and his car just self-destructed. It just caught on fire. So this would work if Rockstar had 100% stable servers that never lagged out. But because they do, this is something you guys really need to be aware about. This just adds to the ever-growing glitches and bugs that are associated with this import and export stuff. And I obviously expected that with a new system, new features, something that's never been done before in online. But I didn't know there would be this many. Vehicles not showing up, Rockstar not putting an indicator on where to go on the map, and now vehicles just suddenly spontaneously combusting. That's actually causing players to lose a lot of money. When you go from less than $1,000 to over $12,000 worth of damage, that's a lot, and that eats into your profits severely. So if something like this happens to you, you're definitely going to want to watch out. And I know, like I said, the importing and exporting stuff is super popular right now, and it's the thing to do. People want to do it, but you might want to be careful until Rockstar servers or until they fix this issue, because I don't obviously want anyone losing money. Now, if this does happen to you, one thing that you can do is contact Rockstar support. I've seen a ton of examples recently of you guys reaching out to them on Twitter, and then you contacting me saying, hey, look, Rockstar support actually refunded some of my money, and they gave me a bonus $100,000 for my trouble and my effort. So if this does legitimately happen to you, at least one thing you can do is reach out to Rockstar support. They have a Twitter account. They've got their website. I think you can even email them and call them on the phone. I'm not entirely too sure how that process works because I've only dealt with them over the support ticket system. But in case you have like a very severe instance where you lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even millions of dollars, maybe that's a route you want to go down, and this is actually how you can get your money back. So just a heads up that the system is a little bit broken right now, and that you need to be careful when you're sourcing, selling, and importing your cars, and it might catch on fire and you might lose a good bit of money. Now, I'm going to give you guys some more tips and just some general things you might not have known. This is obviously something you would know. It's snowing in the game right now, but number one, do not source and sell your vehicles right now. The snow is a nightmare and a disaster in order to, drive vehicles in, and it's going to be disappearing in just, one day, and there's no bonus that's going on right now. I said that over Christmas, it might have been worth it to to sell and source your cars because you had that 50% cash bonus. But because there's nothing like that going on over New Year's, you literally have nothing to gain by bringing your precious cars out in the snow. You're only going to lose money, even if you're a perfect driver. There's so many things the snow can cause to your vehicles, that can cause to NPCs, that can cause to other players. So it's just not worth it. Do not source and sell your cars in the snow. Wait till it melts, which is going to be happening in a day or two. I'll let you know, obviously, as soon as that happens. I mean, what you can do right now is, at a minimum, maybe source the cars. Just be very careful. But I wouldn't at all sell these vehicles. You're going to get the money. You're not missing out on anything. I would definitely just be patient and wait out the snow, because right now it is just way too ridiculous to try and source and sell your vehicles. Now, when it does come time to source and sell your vehicles, I've also got some tips and tricks for you there. So many of the missions will obviously require you to go from point A to point B. Now, at point A is where your car is going to be. And in many of these cases, there's going to be enemies surrounding the vehicle. So most people's logical choice is to run up to the vehicle and then deal with the enemies. However, what you should do is park, or at least land your helicopter, whatever, away from the vehicle and then pick off the enemies with a sniper rifle. This is going to do two things. Number one, it's going to allow you to take out the enemies way easier. They're not going to be able to hit you from that far away. And with a sniper rifle, you should be able to pick them off no problem. And number two, it's also going to take away any chance that your vehicle will inflict damage while it's sitting there. So if you were to go up to the vehicle, and there's always a good chance that, either someone else shoots it or you shoot it by accident, and that's just going to add less money and more damage to the car when you go to sell it. So that's one tip right there. This is useful for when the cars are just on land. It's also very useful for when the vehicles are on like the barges out in the ocean and there's people on the actual barges itself. This is really helpful for that, because then you won't have to deal with people when you're trying to, cargo bob the vehicle out. And it's a great way to deal with the enemies. Now, once you've dealt with those original enemies and you've grabbed yourself the vehicle, you're going to notice that NPCs are going to chase after you. My second tip here is to get out of the vehicle and deal with the waves of NPCs first. So if you deal with all the waves of the NPCs, which I think is 4 at the maximum, you'll be able to drive your car without anyone bothering you, and you should be able to get it and deliver it to your warehouse with as minimal damage as possible. So there should be waves of enemies on the ground and in helicopters. I think it all depends on the quality of the range, standard, mid-range, and top range. I think it depends. If you do a top range one, I think you're going to get more enemies. Standard range, you might end up getting less. But just get out of the car, get a safe distance from it, draw the NPCs to you, kill them, and then proceed to drive it back to the warehouse. Don't try to drive and shoot or sticky bomb at the same time. That's either going to get you killed or just the car put with massive damage. Now, speaking of obtaining cars, what you want to do is focus on top range vehicles. So I know I've said in the past that working on collections is great, but honestly, if you just go for the top range ones, you're going to end up making more money. Now, there is a little bit of a process to this. It's how you can automatically only get top range cars. So this does take a little bit of work, and this does require you to get only standard and mid-range cars for a bit. I've noticed that if you fill up your warehouse about halfway with only standard and mid-range cars, that for the rest of your car sourcing, you will only get top range vehicles. So try this out for yourself. If you're stuck getting a certain type of vehicle, remember you can just leave the lobby, join a new one. You won't have any waiting time, and you can source and search for a brand new car. So that's another great way in which you can do something like that. But that is awesome, because the top range vehicles make the most money. And if you can automatically get one every time, it's going to increase your efficiency of making so much more cash. Speaking of saving cash, I also recommend that you use Lester for not only removing yourself from the radar, but also getting rid of your cop stars. I know that using the Ghost organization and bribing authorities can be so efficient, as it does it for your entire organization, and it lasts a little bit longer, but boy, is it expensive. It's so much cheaper just for everyone in your organization to call Lester and to just, get cops off you or go off the radar. It's going to save yourself money, and it'll likely save your executives some money as well. So like I said, I know those features are convenient, but just call Lester. It'll make things so much better for you. And finally, last but not least, I actually thought this was really interesting, and this might not be for any practical situation, but let's say you're stuck in the technical aqua somewhere in either a lake or a river or in the ocean, and you happen to find yourself in the gunner's seat without a driver. Well, in case you need to get somewhere, you can actually use the gun on the back as kind of a automatic propeller. So if you aim it into the water, you should be able to kind of slowly but surely drive yourself in a certain direction, which is kind of cool. So like I said, I don't know any scenario in which you could be in a pinch like this where you could be in super trouble and not able to get any position without a driver. But if you are, this is something you could maybe do to get yourself back to land or to get yourself to an objective farther or closer away to a bunch of enemies. But anyways, that's all the information that I have for you guys in this video today, and all the things you need to know before you source or sell another vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online. Hopefully this helps you out. Hopefully you start making a lot of money just like I have over the past couple weeks doing the importing and exporting stuff. I'm curious, how much money have you guys made from importing and exporting? Millions? Tens of millions? I'm really curious to see what like the maximum amount someone has made. So let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comment section down below. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.